Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Third Shot Podcast. Whatever platform you're listening on, do us a huge favor and hit subscribe. If you're already subscribed to us, thank you. Go ahead and leave us a message, maybe some questions. You can give us some ideas on what to listen to next on one of our episodes. Also, you can check us out on our website, also on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Third Shot Podcast. We're also on X at Third Shot Pod, and we'd love to hear from you. We love to see all the new followers. So check it out.
Yeah, check us
That's
out.
clear.
I just noticed that we had a rash of new followers and subscribers recently. So thank you. Whoever you are out there, thank you very much.
Exactly. That's cool. That's
Very
cool.
cool.
We should salute
Yeah,
them.
we should. Yeah. Cheers to our newest
There
followers
you go.
and
Yes.
listeners.
Yes. Cheers.
I was gonna say, Greg, I feel mine to like hear. Yours is like to hear. It's quite the difference.
Well, I was telling Bridget before we started recording that, yeah, I've been looking forward to these shots all day long. So
Long day for Uncle.
it's been a long day and I went a little heavy pour. So yeah,
Okay, good call. Well, you got two more, so
I can't wait.
end of the night you'll be fine. Oh
It's
yeah.
funny, Bridget, because you were saying that you want our listeners to kind of give us questions.
Yes.
I have seen a couple of questions coming up, but I have a feeling you said you found some questions to ask me and Russ.
I do have some questions, and if you're listening, you can play along as well. But I found that there's some pretty funny terminology or terms that are used in pickleball. I was just, reading some articles and clicking down
Mhm.
rabbit holes, and I came across a list of different words that they say are pickleball words, but yet I've never heard anybody use these on the court ever.
Okay.
So
So we should
maybe if
guess
you're
what these are.
yeah, so what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do is I will ask you, or I'll give you the term, and then you two can tell me what you think it means, and then I will let you know what it actually means.
You're assuming we're not going to get it right.
I
That's
think
true, huh?
she might be
Shame
assuming
on
correctly.
me. You might get these right. What if you use these words on the court and I just never heard?
Does it start with F?
One does actually.
What does? Actually, you know what? To be serious, I never swear on the court.
Really?
I don't think I've ever sworn like an F-bomb or, any of those types of real swear words. I don't think I've really sworn on a court.
I
That's true. I hear you say shucks a lot, I think.
Shucks.
I think I've heard shucks come out of you. Oh man.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
I'm trying to think. I rarely hear you use profanity.
Yeah. I'm not a big swear. I used to be.
Yeah?
Really? I
I
never
did
heard
used to
that.
be until I became a dad, and then I totally pretty much cut myself off from swearing. I didn't want to be a
Gotcha.
bad influence, but I did swear a lot. Before that, and then I don't think when Bridgie was growing up and stuff, I never swore in front of her or her
Yeah.
sister. But just in normal life, around the guys or, whatever,
Mhm.
especially okay, when I used to bowl
Oh,
competitively, I would swear at myself a
wait, you
lot.
bowled competitively too?
He's the
Is there a
all-around
sport that you haven't
athlete.
done competitively?
So my claim to fame in bowling was I was the number 2 bowler in the state of California as a junior. When I was
Huh,
17 years old, I was ranked number 2 in the state of California.
What was
nice.
your average that
I
you bowled?
averaged 214,
Wow.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
yeah, for a
Ni
season, and, yeah, I was number 2.
nice.
Number
That's
2.
my bowling claim to fame. Oh, and actually 2 claim to fames on bowling. The second claim to fame, I know we're not gonna get to this quiz here, but my second claim to fame is I bowled a doubles tournament when the bowling stadium in Reno just opened up, and they're having this huge, like, 6-month long tournament where you had to qualify for, and then the top 10 teams got to come back for the finals. We made it to the top 10, and my partner and I actually won the tournament, and my cut was $12,500. and
Whoa.
this was
Wow.
in 1995, and it helped me pay for my wedding.
Wow. Huh.
So
Cool.
I basically paid for a good portion of my wedding through bowling.
Wow.
That's like a movie, when like that classic plot of like, we need money, let's enter a tournament, and then they end up winning to pay for whatever it is.
Bowling for Love tonight
Yeah.
on Hallmark.
Yeah. So what's the funny movie with Bill Murray? God, I'm drawing a blank.
Caddyshack?
No, that he's bowling.
Oh.
Kingpin.
Oh, right.
Him and Woody Harrelson, right? They're in Kingpin. That is filmed at the stadium bowling center that I won that tournament
Oh, wow.
in. Same place.
Huh. Okay.
There
Nice.
you go. Little fun facts on Uncle Greg.
Wow.
So what terms do we have, Bridgie?
All right. I hope you two are ready. No Googling.
Okay.
The first word is
Don't look at me all googly eyes, Russ. No googling.
No Googling. Got
No
it.
googling. Okay.
Put the phone
all
down.
right. The first term is a champion shot.
A champion shot? That was what
Mhm.
Greg just took.
That's right here, baby.
Yeah.
That's the champion.
You have another one already queued up. You didn't even. Do you have somebody pouring behind the scenes?
Told you I was ready to go tonight. So I have you poured 3 ready to go for this show.
Oh,
Champion shot.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have to say it's gonna be, the toast after you win the gold medal, right? You get the champion shot.
That's a good guess. Russ?
I would say it's just a really good shot. Like, oh man, that was a champion shot. Like
Yes.
I'm thinking more like that.
Okay, Russ is a little bit closer.
Ugh.
Who
The
knew?
definition of a champion shot is a shot that takes place in the non-volley zone that bounces twice.
What?
So I think it's like when you hit it
He's had a few
over
shots. Explain more.
and then you get it you like so delicately that it like bounces twice in the no volley zone.
Wow.
So you
Okay.
know how sometimes we hit the top of the net and it like goes and then
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're describing.
That is a champion shot. I call that just
Yeah.
pure luck. Okay. Okay. Got it. I will add that to my terminology.
Right. You
All
should try to
right,
get some
next.
of these. Try to get some of these in the interview segment today.
Oh,
Oh, we
okay.
should
Right.
ask him.
Just to
Is
Yeah.
just
that
to
is
mess.
this gonna
Yeah.
be a little competition to see how we
Yeah.
can
No.
answer
Just
it?
say, hey, when you're taking a championship shot, and
Okay.
just like as if they know.
We th if you pull it off, I'll take another shot.
Right.
The next
Uh,
one is another type of shot, but this one's called a dill ball.
a dill ball.
A dill ball.
Not a dull ball, but a dill
Dill.
ball.
Like a dill pickle, but dill ball.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm. Russ, I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm sorry, I've been censored on this one.
And this is after I said I don't swear or anything, right? Now you bring up dill ball. It's
Right,
like
a dill
I
ball.
almost feel like I'm swearing when I say dill ball.
Yeah, right? Right? Well, okay, I'll my guess will be it is the new person on the court that's making a bunch of jokes. Man, that guy's such a dill ball. There you go.
Oh.
I went totally
Maybe.
different.
Right. I was thinking something to do with the actual ball, but you just called a person a dill ball.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's gonna be one of our last guests. They'll put that on a shirt. They'll do that.
Dill ball.
Dill ball, yeah.
Like, hey, dill ball, good shot. Hey, that was a champion shot, dill ball. Uh, I'm gonna say a dill ball is when you totally mishit it and it like goes wildly out of control, out of the court somewhere. That's a dill ball.
Those are great guesses. And Uncle, it's actually the complete opposite of what you said. A dill ball is a ball in play. It's a standard shot that has bounced once on the opponent's side. So it's just like a regular in play ball
Huh.
is a dill ball.
It's just a normal shot.
Yep.
Okay.
Dill ball.
See what I mean? Like I've never heard anybody use these terms.
I don't
Right.
know where you're pulling these terms from, but I got this is great. Wherever
It's
you get
called
them from.
sportsedtv.com
Mm.
if you'd like to
Okay. Okay.
fact check. All right, the next one. This is the F word.
Uh-oh.
Falafel.
Falafel.
Okay. Well, we know the food.
Falafel.
We know the food item, but it's a term in pickleball,
Yeah.
falafel.
I honestly can't even think of what a falafel is right now.
I mean, it
That's
almost
it's the bread, right?
yeah.
It's chickpea. It's like a chickpea meatball that's like fried, but there's no
Oh,
meat.
right,
It's just
right,
like
right. Okay,
chickpea
there
and
we
then they
go.
fry
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the naan that you eat with your falafel.
Right, right. I'm thinking of that, not the okay. All right. Hmm.
I mean, it sounds like, when you go for a ball and you trip and you fall on your dome that we
Like
talked
I
about
did. I
before.
did.
That sounds
Maybe I falafel.
Right,
it sounds like you falafel,
right.
but I'm guessing I'm not right, but I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna say, let's see, falafel. It sounds like a mistake. Like it sounds like, oh, you falafel that one. Like I'm gonna say it's a total just a mistake. Like you made a big mistake.
A big mistake. Okay. So a
Trying to
falafel,
go off on this.
you're kind of close, is a
Yeah.
pickleball slang for a weak bounce off of a paddle that doesn't go far.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So just kind of,
That was kind of
a
that
miss.
was my dill ball. I like it was I was just one term too early.
Right.
Dang, yes.
That's
Maybe you'll
true.
get the next one then.
I already did.
But I'm wondering how they get falafel because all of these are like pickle terms, but falafel has nothing to do with
Right. Right.
pickles.
I
Weird.
I
wonder
don't
if you
know.
can make a falafel out of pickles.
Oh.
Have
Interesting.
you ever thought about that? A dill falafel. Combine two
Dill
terms.
falafel.
Oh boy.
All right, let me get one more for
Okay.
us.
All right.
These are normal.
We don't want normal.
Yeah,
We
we
don't
we
want.
want some odd ones.
All right, maybe this one I have heard. Uncle knows this, so I'm gonna have Russ guess what it
Oh
is
boy.
first.
Oh, phew,
Okay.
I'm off the hook.
But Russ, what do you think it means to be pickled? Or
To
when
be
someone
pickled.
says pickled, yeah.
To be pickled. Um, I'm gonna say I would guess that would mean like because I'm thinking, okay, you're pickled, you're in a jar of vinegar, you can't really do much, you're not doing much on the court, you've been pickled.
Oh, you used it pretty well,
Yeah.
uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great. It's when you get skunked. 11-0.
Yep.
You got pickled.
Yeah. Okay.
Scored no points. You pickled somebody.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You don't want to be the pickled. You
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 don't
don't
want
want
to
to end up
be
pickled,
that.
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
And speaking of pickle, okay, let me ask you this seriously. Do you even feel good when you pickle somebody or do you not?
No, I
Right?
don't.
You don't, right? You don't want to pickle somebody. You want to be competitive, but if you want to win, but you don't want to
Mhm.
pickle somebody, especially
Right.
in like a rec game or something. Like you don't want to pickle somebody. You almost want to, I never want to give away points, but I feel bad about pickling people.
Mm.
Me too, because like and then the games usually end up going really fast too. So it's not even like you have that back and forth that makes a game really fun.
Okay. Selfishly, when you're on the courts and there's people waiting for your courts and you're rotating in and out and stuff like that. So once your match is over, you rotate out and you may have to wait like 15, 20 minutes for the next match. You
Uh-huh.
definitely don't want to pickle somebody and have it over and then you're done and you got to sit around.
Mm.
That's no
Exactly.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Right? Okay. Well, anyway, those are fun, Bridgie.
Yes,
We're gonna have
I
to
hope.
find some more and test us again.
Yeah, I will. And if you hear somebody use one of those on the court, please, I mean, aside from pickled, because that one's pretty common, please let me know. I would love
Nice.
to know
Yeah.
the situation.
Like, yeah. Do those actually happen?
Well, we're gonna test our next guest.
I think you
My
should. Yeah.
Yeah, see if Mike Gottfried, the owner of Pickle, he is joining us for the third time on our show. We love his paddles, we love the balls, so we're gonna talk about the latest product that Pickle has on the market. So come on back from break, and we have Mike Gottfried, the owner of Pickle. Thanks for hanging out with us during the break. Welcome back to Third Shot. As always, we really appreciate all the feedback that you're giving us and the support on social media. Please keep providing it. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Third Shot Podcast. That's what you look us up and find us at. On X, Third Shot Pod. Please provide us the feedback. We've been getting some fun stuff. So, as Bridget was saying earlier, send us some questions. We had some fun ones in the earlier segment. And as I promised, we have the founder, CEO, the man that does everything over at Pickle. Mike Godfrey is joining us for the third time. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you for having me back. I definitely do not do everything that I will say. I got a great team around me. Every successful business has a great team, but I am happy to be back. Thank you for having me back for the third time.
For the third time.
Yeah,
Yeah, third time on third shot. I
there we
think
go.
we need to cheers to Team Pickle.
Here we go. Cheers,
Absolutely.
guys. I
Cheers.
will say I'm less fun today than usual. I got a tournament tomorrow. Not drinking any alcohol, so I'm just got a little liquid IV left in the cup that I'm going to take down.
There you go.
Perfect. I'm drinking coffee, so you're not alone.
There we go.
I got both you covered, so don't sweat it. Don't
Thanks,
sweat
Uncle.
Yeah.
it. So what's the tournament you playing tomorrow?
So we got a little, it's our club championship. So I am playing with my wife and I play a lot of pickleball. My wife plays a lot of pickleball. We don't play a lot of pickleball together because we've got two young kids. And if one of us is playing, it usually means that the other one is with the kids. And so we'll see how it goes. The last time we played in a tournament together, I got to say, we kind of were angry, a little not getting along so well by the
Oh,
end of it, but
no.
that was like a year ago. I think we're going to be all right. We played a little bit together this week, and like almost had a little fight, but then we kind of got over it. And I feel like now that we got through that, we're gonna be suited to do really well. So it'll be fun.
That's awesome that you guys get to play together, and good luck to the both of you.
Thank you,
I thought
thank
you were
you.
gonna say, Bridgie, that's awesome that you guys almost got into a fight.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, it was kind of
I
awesome. We were playing with our friends. It would have been really awkward, but yeah, it's a weird thing. I feel like it's a controversial topic in pickleball. Like, if you're playing mixed, do you play with your, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, significant other? Like, I don't know. I think it's a little dicey at times.
Okay, so gotta ask you both a question then about that. Because I've seen it both ways, right? I've seen couples that are married or going out together play really well together. I've also seen them really bicker, right? And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, is this just an indicator of what they're really like at home too? Or do you think it's just like the pressure of competition that brings that out of people?
I I can go first. I mean, we almost never fight. We have an amazing relationship, and both of us, I don't know, have a lot of grace for the other one in terms of our daily lives. And for whatever reason, like, I think when I normally play pickleball with a partner, I don't think about how I'm reacting to them. I just am myself. And in this situation with my wife, I think I'm just a little more aware of my own self, which then makes me a little different, a little less genuine or authentic. I don't know. I just am a little more careful about like feedback, or maybe she looks at me and is seeking feedback or not seeking feedback. And then I start thinking about whether she wants feedback, and then I make a mistake and she's like, well, you were giving me feedback. So what are you doing making a mistake yourself? So um, I think it's very pickleball specific. I don't think it's
Yeah,
any sort of indicator of our
yeah,
private life, which is, which is great.
that is good. Fridgie, what do you
I
think?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think that it's not an indicator at all. I think sometimes sports can bring out the worst in people, the competition or the stress. But also, I think some people take it as an opportunity to kind of goof off and make those little comments here and like joke around a little bit. So I don't know. When I hear it, I don't take it too seriously. Like my friend Kayla, my partner who I play women's with, she also loved playing with this paddle because she doesn't have any of her own. So she used this paddle, and her and her partner, when they play, it's hilarious. They like, if they both up the middle and nobody swings, they look at each other, start yelling at each other immediately. It's so funny, but they're joking. They're
Yeah.
mm, like 80% joking, 20% serious.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic. I mean, look, we've now said we're going to play hard, we're going to have fun, win, lose, whatever happens, we'll be good with it.
Well, good luck. I hope you guys have a great time.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you will. I'm sure you will.
Yes. And speaking of playing pickleball and making comments on the court, we were just talking about some specific pickleball terminology that we've never heard on the courts before. And so we were wondering if you've heard of any of these terms.
Okay.
So I'm going to
Hit me.
lay it on you, and
Let's hear it.
you tell me what you think it means.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. The first one, a champion shot.
A champion shot? I mean, I guess it's just like a winner. I don't know. No, I
It
have no.
kind of is. Yep. So
That's all I got.
It
you
is a
technically
type of
would
winner.
win the point. Yeah, but it's specific to the non-volley zone when a shot bounces twice. So if you hit it over and it bounces twice in the non-volley zone, it's a
Okay.
champion shot.
See, I was thinking more like, a passing shot or like like a tennis shot down the line that would be a winner. But like, okay. I never heard that. Literally never heard it.
Never
Me
heard that.
either. So see,
Yeah.
maybe my sources are incorrect. This next
I
one.
mean, it doesn't mean. All right, hit me with the next one.
Next one. All right. A dill ball.
I love this one.
Uh, what? I have also never heard that. I'll take a wild guess and like maybe a ball that I can't even think of what. It sounds like it has a lot of spin on it or something. I have no idea.
Oh, that
Okay.
would be a good one.
Yeah.
But this defines a dill ball as a ball that's in play as a standard shot that's bounced once on the opponent's side. So it's just a playable ball,
Oh,
a
okay.
dill
That's way
ball.
less fun. Yeah.
I know.
Right? That's
I know.
not as exciting
I
as
like
it
your answer
sounds.
better.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe like I don't know if you've ever seen the ball. I've seen this now twice in like the last 2 months, but somebody hits a shot, it bounces and it has so much spin that it then bounces back over the net. Like that would I don't know.
Right.
That should
Oh,
have a
you've
name.
seen that happen in
I've seen it
person?
twice. Once completely by mistake. It was such a bad shot off the frame of the paddle that it had so much spin. And then
Uh-huh.
one that they hit it with so much spin, but it did go back. But then the person reached over the net and tapped it into the net to end the point. So it was nuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yep.
Okay, so I got a question for you. This actually is a serious question, and I just saw this on Reddit of all places. But somebody was playing in kind of heavy winds, and they were hitting kind of a higher softball into the wind. It cleared the net, but the wind blew it back into the net before it hit the ground. What's the ruling on that?
I would think that the person who hit the shot would win the point because they did clear the net. And as long as it's on the other side of the net, then the other team kind of failed to clear it back over. Is that right?
Well, it is in a sense because it's a live ball. So the other
Right.
team can play it even though it hit the net and bounces, let's say.
Right. Because it's like it
Wherever it
hit the
bounced to,
net
you can
cord.
still
Right.
if you can get it back over the net, it's still a live ball.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was a little bit of controversy over something that happened in a match. I guess it was kind of an important match somewhere, and that happened, and they didn't know how to play it. Yeah, they didn't know
Hey,
how to rule it, but According to the rules, it's still a live ball.
I mean, the internet keeps coming up with new unbelievable situations. I had one recently where somebody was going for an ATP shot and they hit it, and on the side of the net there was one of those like almost tennis ball style little tray things,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and they played it and it hit the tray, popped straight up in the air over everybody's head, landing on the like just inside the baseline, and they won the point. But then they were saying, well, no, that's not a part of the net. That's like, could you play it
Hmm.
off of a bench over there? So like
Mm.
it was an
Uh,
unspecified fixture. So I don't know. That was a new one on me too.
hmm.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Or it's like, sometimes they have even like the little scorecards. I know it's more prevalent in tennis too, but like there's
Yeah.
sometimes like little things. I don't know. The like crank on the side of the net, things all over the
Right.
place. Yeah.
I think if it's connected to the net, it's part of the net and it should count.
That's what I said, but you can never get a 100% agreement on it.
All right, the next
All
term
right.
that Brittany has is a good one.
Yeah, this will be the last one. A falafel.
I have heard of a falafel shot.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Do you
Okay.
remember?
It was just like a real high, easy ball that you can just like smash, right?
Oh, well, according to my resource, it says that it's a slang for a weak bounce off of a paddle that doesn't go very far. So,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
maybe if it
I
comes
guess
off and it
so.
goes straight up.
Yeah. Someone had said like, yeah, it's maybe they had it wrong too. When I heard it was like, you served me the falafel. I guess I don't know why falafel, but like you basically just gave me like an absolute, you know, ball to just easily put away. But I guess
Well,
that could be like you miss hit it and it kind of just, meh, you know?
yeah.
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 Well, we can guarantee this, that if they use the Pickle Pro Series, they're not gonna hit any falafels,
A lot less
Right.
falafels, a
It's
right?
lot
got a
more.
huge sweet spot.
It,
It's
the whole thing is
falafel.
a sweet spot.
And there should be something in the packaging that says no falafels,
You
right?
know, so
You
I'm glad you said that, because one of the
okay.
things that we're going to do as we progress the brand and the packaging is just have a little bit more personality and fun. And I think, it's part of finding your voice as a brand is you don't want to be off-putting to people straight out of the gate, but now that again we are more comfortable with who we are as a brand and a company, I think that type of language and that type of stuff is totally in play for us, um, as we continue into the future. So I don't know, like, yeah, no falafels,
No
or this
falafel.
whole thing is a freaking sweet spot, like it speaks to people.
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, you mentioned it. So I mean,
Let's
we
talk
launched these.
about the paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
So
this Pro
we
Series.
we launched the new Pro Series back in August. Now it's November, so we've got a whatever 3 months of Pro Series under our belts. It's been kind of a game changer for us. Like, we really put a lot of time and effort and energy into developing the paddle, testing different iterations of it, getting feedback from people, that we had in our community, highest level players, rec players, kind of everything in between, to make sure that it was going to be, again, there's no one paddle that's perfect for everybody, but we had a really kind of clear expectation in mind of what we wanted to develop. And so as we were thinking about all of the different variables that could go into this paddle, and ultimately it's two versions of kind of the same paddle, um, it took time and care. And now that we're kind of again 3 months in, we're really pleased with the results. But from a quality standpoint, from a feedback standpoint, from a consistency, durability, all the things that are not necessarily like core to the technology, um, it's been really exciting for us. It's given us a paddle that you know can be used at the highest levels and is being used at the highest levels. But it's also something that myself, my wife, my friends who are not 5.0 or even sometimes 4.0 or below can take and have confidence in and really feel like they've got a great piece of equipment. Um, and then the other part of it is the price too, where we feel like we've got some competitors out there who charge a lot of money for paddles, north of $200, $250 in some cases.
Yeah.
And we're really, really committed to, trying to be as fair on price as we can. So at $159 before any discounts or anything like that. There's going to be some great discounts for the holidays. I know that Third Shot has a discount that you guys have used before and given out
Yeah.
to your community as well. So again, on the price front, we're really committed to being fair and trying to not gouge people from that standpoint. So I can get into the technology of it. Again, we're not. That's not what I like to lead with because I first want to tell the story of how we got to it. But we can dive into that too if there's interest in kind of like what it is, what makes it different, special, or why it's. I don't know. Some people even think like, what's the difference between this and another even raw carbon fiber paddle? So we can get into that too.
Yeah, let's hear it. But I also want to plug in too that there's a lifetime warranty on your paddles as well. So
Yep.
not only is it a great piece of equipment, but the support that they get after they purchase a paddle is fantastic as well.
Yeah, look, we're interested in, again, the fairness of it and having customers for life. And you shouldn't, it's not your fault if what you buy breaks as a result of something that you didn't deserve, right? And so we stand by our manufacturing, we stand by the quality of our products. Again, if you take it and chuck it over a fence and, the neck snaps, like probably it's not covered by our warranty. Um, but things that do happen, we haven't seen it, but there's always the case of like delamination, which was, something that we had to guard against. Paddles have in the past snapped at the neck. Again, not ours. I haven't seen it happen. Edge guards falling off or things like that. Um, Look, if we didn't have a great high quality product, it would be really, really risky for us to offer a lifetime guarantee or a lifetime warranty. Um, but in this case, again, we're so proud of kind of the products that we're putting out there that um, it feels much lower risk for us. And frankly, again, we're committed to doing things the right way and building relationships and customers for life. So um, it wasn't that hard or much of a stretch for us to put that out there.
Yeah, and I think it speaks volumes to the product that you are putting out and the confidence you have in the product because like you said, if you didn't think it was going to hold up, you definitely wouldn't be offering a lifetime guarantee. So I give you kudos for doing that and putting out a product and producing a product that you have so much confidence in. My question is, like, I was a big fan of the first Pro Series, right? I have it right behind me for the people watching on YouTube. Love that paddle. I played it in a lot of competitions, a lot of league games, the whole bit, right? And you made it better, right? The next Pro Series, and there's two versions. There's the 13 millimeter, 16 millimeter. Bridgie's playing the 16. I'm playing the 13. We can get into our review on it, but you were able to make it better in my opinion. And I was just wondering, like, what type of research, what type of feedback did you get from the first Pro Series to figure out how to tweak it to get it to the level that it's at right now?
Yeah, good question. And it started with listening, right? There were people who, again, close to us, high level players, avid players who love and still play with the original White Pro Series. And there were ones who had feedback and said why it wasn't for them, why they didn't necessarily love it. And so we took that in and digested it and said, well, how can we make something even better? I think, look, it feels like I've been in this business forever. But that initial White Pro Series paddle that we put out, at launch was developed with limited knowledge and limited information, right? It was really built off of the opinions of one senior professional player that I was working with here in Atlanta as an advisor, and his preferences. And I quickly learned that that's not necessarily like there is no one size fits all, and so there was room to innovate, iterate. We got to know our manufacturing partner a lot better and what they could do. A lot of the different options and materials and manufacturing processes that they could use that would make an even better paddle. And so, look, just again, being in this business for a longer period of time opened doors for us and opened options for us, taking in the feedback and then deciding, hey, we think we can do even better and make something that's even more, more widely accepted and more exciting for higher level play. And so specifics of it, things we were trying to tackle, right? So that the original Pro Series, again, great paddle, and a lot of people are still playing with it. It had the elongated shape. Again, we quickly learned like that was a little bit polarizing. Again, it's not a bad thing to be polarizing because some people love it.
Mhm.
But we wanted to go for a little bit more of a standard shape. The second piece was a longer handle. We did hear that people wanted a longer handle for a two-handed backhand, or at least to have the option to have that. The two thicknesses, right? So the original is, despite the fact that it feels really soft, it was a 13 millimeter paddle. And we were hearing like some people just say, I just want to play with a thicker paddle. I want a 16 millimeter paddle. I don't want to play with anything else. Like, okay, well, we don't currently have one. We should look into developing one. And then the last piece of it is really the forgiveness. And like I talked about before, like this whole thing is a sweet spot to a degree. The manufacturing process, the thermoform body,
Yeah.
coupled with the foam injected edges, which again is not technology unique to us, but it's something that we were really committed to say that even on miss hits, you're going to be able to get a solid hit, and get the ball back over the net, despite the fact that you don't have to hit it in the direct center. Um, and so again, these are different things that were sort of benefits that we had in mind that we then developed the features to attack those benefits that people wanted.
Well, I think all of your research and feedback has been quite successful. As Uncle mentioned, I do play with the 16, and thank you so much for sending it because it's been fantastic. I love the grit on it as well because I'm able to get that spin and kind of play with the ball a little bit more than I was before. And I've been testing out that two-handed backhand, so that elongated handle definitely has come in handy for me. I mean, I already have small hands, but still, I needed a little bit more room on there.
Yeah, a
So
little bit of
it's
extra.
yeah, it's
Yep.
been really great. And earlier too, I was mentioning my partner. She loves playing with it. She was playing with the Launch Pro, the white one. And then when I got this one, she was like, "Oh man, can I please use that?" We played in the PPA tournament here in Las Vegas, and she did great with it. So she
Yeah.
also loves it. You got another fan.
That's awesome. You look, when I play well with it, I look at people, I'm like, it can't be the guy because you know how I play. So it has to be the paddle. Um, no, but that you nailed it too, right? Like, spin is a big factor. And we went through a number of iterations of like even within raw carbon fiber, right? Like what was the right specific weave and the right specific supplier of carbon fiber that we were going to use for our paddle. So it probably all in all, like, could I have snapped my fingers and had it to market quicker? Like I would have liked that. But again, took a little bit of extra time to make the choices and to figure out how to, get this as good as we could out to market.
So, Mike, I'm curious, like when you're doing all the research and you're testing different materials, like how many different options are you really looking at as far as like carbon fibers? Like, let's say you decide, okay, I want to go carbon fiber with this paddle. Like, how many different options are there really that you have to evaluate and test before you make your final decision?
It's virtually endless. I mean,
Really?
because our manufacturer has kind of the options that they are comfortable with and that exist, but we're also comfortable bringing additional options to them from the research that we're doing for other materials suppliers. And so, I mean, it's not endless. Um, but when you start to think about the variables that come together, I mean, even if what I just mentioned, right? Handle length, shape, thickness, material, surface material, whether it's T700, T800, T500, which carbon fiber manufacturer, whether it's Toray or somebody else that's out there that they're using it from, how the weave is laid down, how they're either polishing or leaving it kind of unpolished from a finishing standpoint. Um, you know, all of those variables, you start to mix those together. And I'm not great at math, but I know that you start using exponents to think of how many different, combinations there could be. Um, and so, like, I'll even give you an example as we're looking at, 2024 and what we're going to do on our next iteration of paddles. And I think we came up with 18 different combinations that are going to just be the like V1 tests for us,
Wow.
um, on different stuff. And this again is a combo of shapes, different cores, like even within, polypropylene honeycomb core, which everybody has, but now there's a lot of different kind of stiffnesses and the size of the cells, and we're looking at every single detail. And so, to answer your question, Greg, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay.
It sounds like it. Oh my
Really
gosh.
does. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm learning it on the fly too. I've got, again, surrounded by a great team. And we think, we can think that we've got it figured out, but ultimately it comes down to play testing and people's feedback too. So um, it does take a time and concerted effort in a community to help us make those decisions.
Talk a little bit about thermofoam. Like, that seems like that's the hot button right now. People want to
Yeah.
go to thermofoam. Like, what are the advantages of the thermofoam? Why did you decide to go? And what was the research like on that?
Yeah, so thermoforming is a manufacturing process that uses heat to create the body of the paddle itself. And so the original Pro Series, a lot of the kind of V1 pre-thermoform paddles would be more of a sandwich design. You'd have two outer layers, the faces of the paddle, one inner layer of honeycomb, and you'd sandwich them together and then wrap an edge guard around it to kind of bind it all together. Instead of that, now you basically take the carbon fiber, you wrap the entire inside, including the handle of the paddle, with carbon fiber, and put it in this heat press. And the heat press combines it into one body. So when you hear unibody design, that's what that's talking about. There's a lot of benefits for that, of using that process. Durability being one of them, stability being another one, longevity, and so as we were again looking at ways to up our game, up our tech, the thermoforming process was one that made a lot of sense to us. There are different, even within thermoforming, and I'm sure if you go factory to factory, manufacturer to manufacturer, there's different ways that it might actually be done. Um, and there's probably nuances to that. I'm not an engineer, but again, like I said, I'm learning it as fast as I can. Um, but to get that product of like the single body made a lot of sense to us to, again, make a higher quality, higher durability, and more forgiving paddle. The thermoforming process was one that stood out as, this is a good option to achieve those things.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking all of this technology and stuff, it's just, so new to me and hearing about it. But being on the other side of it as a paddle developer and researcher, is it just me or is the technology for paddles like growing and going so fast? Or is it just from an outsider's perspective where it seems like every day I wake up, there's like something new on the market as far as paddles go?
Yeah, I mean, new doesn't necessarily mean better. I think that's one thing to think about, is that the industry has been, and look, we didn't invent a lot of this stuff, so I'm not going to take claim for it. I think we in a lot of ways fast followed, but we did the research to figure out what it is that we wanted to create that was in a complete package different than what anybody else was making. Um, so there's a lot of things that can be done, there's a lot of tinkering that can be done. But it almost feels like it comes in these chapters where when somebody does truly come out with something great or different enough that some segment of people like it, there's going to be people who follow, and there's going to be investigation into what that technology is, and then that's going to be hammered on and iterated and innovated and pushed to the nth degree of whatever they can do. Like even raw carbon fiber as a surface material, I feel like really came into focus in the last year or so.
Mhm.
Where it's not a new material by any means, but people are like, oh, you know what, this stuff is strong and durable, it has grit for spin, um, it kind of looks cool, like there's all these benefits to it. And so um, it can make your head spin. It's our job as the manufacturer to decode all of it and to make the decisions and ultimately say, here's what this paddle does well, here's what you do well as a player, we think it'd be good for you, and to not leave it up to the consumer to make a decision between T700 and T800 carbon fiber.
Well, I gotta give you my feedback on the paddle because again, I'm playing the 13 millimeter. I was playing, the previous Pro Series, which is also 13 millimeter, and I loved it. Like I said, went to the new one, loved it even more. And the reason why is that sweet spot that you're talking about. And the problem that I've had in other 13 millimeter paddles is it was nice and quick, it was light, I was fast, I could get the power and I needed, but when I was mishitting on the sides, left and right, I would feel the jar. It would not be stable, and I'd have a weak hit, right?
Hmm.
And wouldn't go exactly where I was going, aiming it for. With your paddle, the sweet spot is greater and greater than your first Pro Series paddle. So when I am hitting it a little off left and right, I'm still getting very, very good contact, and it's pretty much going where I want it to go to still with the distance that I want it to go to. It's not like a weak shot because I caught it, a little off, even a lot off. I mean, I'm not on the edge, but let's say, fairly close to the edge, it's still a good shot, and that's what I was most impressive with because, when I use a 60 millimeter paddle, I can get away with that a little bit more. The 13s I've tried in the past, I couldn't,
Hmm.
but yours I
Yeah,
can, and that's what
I
I was
love
most
that.
impressed with.
I love it. I love to hear it, and thank you for the feedback. It's exciting to hear, every single time that, look, positive or negative, right? That happens to be positive most of the time, which I love. Um, it makes me happy, right? This is what we're trying to achieve, and it's what we set out to do. So to hear it that it's working for you, um, makes me happy, and hopefully you are hitting better shots and winning more points and winning more
More
games and
consistent.
ultimately having more fun. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's still fast, and it's just more consistent now,
yeah, that's
than
great.
yeah, which at my level, that's all I can ask for, really.
Truly, I mean, that's the fat part of the market there, right? We'd all love to be playing on the PPA tour, but getting paid to play. But it turns out that most of us are, still just getting out there with friends and communities, and um, I don't always hit the ball on the center of the paddle. That's a fact.
Right, right. Richie, what did
Also,
you
So
think of the 16 millimeter?
and I thought it was a great paddle, and as you mentioned, that sweet spot is enormous on it.
Yeah.
I do prefer a thicker paddle though, just because with the touching at the net, it does help me out a lot more. But yeah, it's a fantastic paddle. And for our listeners who may also want to purchase one, where's the best spot for them to go?
yeah. So come on over to pickle.com, pckl.com. Um, You guys have a code, right? It's third shot 10, I believe, spelled out.
We
Yes.
do,
Is that
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yep. So spell it out, third shot 10, and that'll get you a discount on anything on our site, including the Pro Series 13 and 16.
And I believe the 3rd shot is spelled out, the number is 10, the 1
Yeah.
0.
Correct.
So
Yes.
there you
Third
go. So
shot
just
10.
because I wanna make sure everybody gets that discount, and I
Yep.
appreciate your generosity in offering that to our listeners.
Yeah. 100, absolutely.
Before we sign off, I do gotta ask you because we want you back for the 4th, right? The 4th episode, with Pickle. What can people look forward to in the next version of the paddles? I mean, I already love what you got. What are you thinking about? Just tease it. What's gonna be in the next version?
Um, I'm glad you asked. We're still working on it, still developing it. But there's two main things that we're working on. The first one, very excited about, is trying to make this even less expensive. We're trying to hit a lower price point. I'm working with our manufacturer, not to cut corners or not to really even change anything materially about the paddle construction itself, but we think that price is a really important component of pickleball equipment. Again, with a lifetime warranty, we don't think we're gouging people by our prices, but if we can make it less expensive, we'd like to make it less expensive to get even get the paddle in the hands of even more people. On the other side, new technology and new things like that. Like I said, we've got a laundry list of things to test. The goals that we have in mind are a few. Um, we'd love to explore ways to make the paddle even a little bit hotter, a little bit faster ball speed off of the paddle, a little bit more. We're going to continue to think about pushing the limits when it comes to grit, um, the grit testing, and ultimately the RPMs and the spin that comes with the paddle. So that comes with, again, some new materials, the ways that the materials are being laid, the finishing processes of the paddle themselves. We're looking at new edge guards and things like that. Could we make a more of a flush edge guard? Could you have
Mm.
even more, of a half an inch or 5 to 10 millimeters on the side of the paddle for forgiveness on that side of things too? So again, little things here and there. I don't think that the next iteration will be head and shoulders above. I don't. Maybe it will. Maybe we'll stumble onto something that just absolutely changes the game. Um, but those are the kinds of things that we're looking into, and really hope that we can come out with a Pro Series 13, 16, V2, V3, V4, and keep kind of upping and changing the game for the better as we go along.
Well,
I
we
love it.
can't wait to see what's next. I think you have a fantastic brand. I love all of the products that you're putting out, and you also have some great marketing too. So,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
yeah, we love to
Thank you.
see it.
It's, look, you can't just have marketing, but we think it's important to spread the word that, the brand be attractive, and, the marketing and messaging just connects with people genuinely. So that's what it's all about.
Well, before we let you go, let's take a last shot. And speaking of marketing, let's cheers to a no falafel paddle.
Here we go.
Yes, no
The next
Coming
falafels.
in,
version, no falafel paddle right
coming in
here.
2024.
I mean, with that kind of branding, who's not going to buy that,
Who says
Right?
no?
right? No
I do
falafel.
love falafel. I gotta say, it's
Oh,
delicious falafel, but not the
yeah, it's
pickleball kind.
true. It
Yeah,
is a good food. So
yeah.
maybe that marketing wouldn't work because people would like go, "Oh, I want a falafel. I like
Yeah.
falafel."
Right.
Well, thanks a lot for coming back on with us, Mike. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing all the knowledge that you have and the new paddles. And Bridgie and I really thank you for being generous enough to send us a couple of paddles for us to try out, because we really do enjoy the technology and where you're going with your new paddles.
Well,
So,
thanks for having me again, and you guys are part of the pickle family at this point, so it's my pleasure, and can't wait for the fourth time. We'll do it
well,
again
we're
soon.
Bridgie and I definitely have to come out and visit you at some point, and get to play a little pickleball with you and your wife. Check out some of the new technology. That'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
We'll do it. We'll
Look forward
definitely
to
do
it.
it.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
And thank you, all of you, for joining us on Third Shot, where Bridgie and I will continue to share our pickleball journey. A special thanks to Mike for joining us today. Check out Pickle on Instagram. Their Instagram is PCKL Ball, Pickleball, and their website is pckl.com, pickle.com. Check them out. And please keep supporting us. You've been great. We promise to have more amazing guests just like Mike on future episodes. Let's continue to share your enjoyment and our enjoyment for the game and grow this pickleball community. See you next time on Third Shot Podcast.